Hello, everybody. Welcome to another 3 Count Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, the original Hellraiser, Itchy Bun, AJ Bomber. And as always, I'm always joined by my tag team partner, and he is...
And I am the Sheriff of Wrestling.
Whee! Give him a round of applause. Round of applause, people. Not a round of applause. You're not Wolverine. So, you can hear me, I can hear you.
Yep.
For anyone that don't know, I'm just going to jump into it now. The app that we use, the app that I used beforehand, the Spotify Podcasters app, obviously the recording feature has been taken off there now. I have to use a third-party app called Riverside. I think I'm right there. Is it Riverside or Riverdale?
Riverdale's a TV show.
So it's Riverside then. Anyway, so it's a brand new app. I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago, signed up. I haven't really done much more with it. So obviously this is, a test and also an episode. So hopefully it all works out well. But anyway, moving on from that, this episode is going to be a quick episode. It's not going to be our normal length. I say it might be quick. We might still go a little bit longer, but it's not going to be how we normally record, where we're normally here for, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So this is probably going to be, 40 minutes to an hour, maybe?
Yeah, because it's not really an episode on what we can talk loads about in the scheme of it, like with what we normally talk about.
No, that is true. The reason for that is, so I'll just give people a quick insight. Obviously, we haven't uploaded an episode for a while. You've been busy, I've been busy. Then last Sunday, we attended All In 2024, Wembley.
We did.
Yes. So the original idea for that was we were going to go there and we were going to do a live podcast, chat to fans, get their ideas of who they would like to see and win. It didn't pan out for 2 reasons. One, my mask never turned up. So that was a bit of a bummer. And second of all, the weather was not that great to be recording. There was a lot of wind. We didn't know if it was going to be raining or not. So we just enjoyed it as fans. We didn't go there on business.
Yep, it was a day out with the lads.
Yeah, so there, lads. So anyway, so this episode that we're going to be doing today, like I said, it's just going to be a very quick episode. So the original plan was we were meant to be covering the Great American Bash 89.
Yep.
But because of what's been going on, obviously, we're not doing that one today. We're going to just do the AEW All In 2024, what we thought of it, getting there, our overall experience. And then, hopefully, within this week, we will record the Great American Bash 89, and then we'll be uploading that one as well. So consider this as a bonus episode that you never knew you were going to get.
And also, like we were talking about earlier, after the Great American Bash 89, it's stables in wrestling.
I thought we were going to do cruiserweights.
We could do that as well.
Okay, so there's many things we can do. There's a lot of things we can do. Obviously, we're not going to cover any news today. I will do that when we will do the Great American Bash 89. We spoke about that before.
Yep.
So there's going to be no news. We're just going to probably get straight into it. I will do a quick news. It's not pertaining to wrestling. It's pertaining to us. So we now actually have a email account. So if anyone has any questions, whether they be good, bad, somewhere in between, you can now send them to us at podcast 3count wrestling at gmail.com. I believe that is right.
I'm hoping so. You created it.
Well, I'm hoping it's right. I'm sure it's. I'm definitely sure it's podcast 3count wrestling at gmail.com, and that's 3 as in the number 3, not spelt 3. So, tell you what, just bear with me a second. I will double check this. So just hold on. Need to make sure I got it right. Yes, so it is podcast 3count wrestling at gmail.com. So that's PODCAST 3 as in the number 3, count COUNT wrestling WRESTLING at gmail.com. And just think I've got to do that all again tomorrow or sometime next week when we do the Great American Bash 89. So I look forward to that. So anyway, yeah, so if you've got any questions, send them in to us and hopefully we can answer them for you. If you're a sponsor and you want to sponsor the channel, hey, I'm open to that as well. We could all do with a little bit of extra money these days.
That's very true. We could.
As much as I love doing this and covering wrestling, if I get paid, well, if I could get a chance to get paid to do what I love, then that's even better, isn't it?
Be much better. Like I said, all you got to do is sit and watch wrestling and keep up on the news and everything else. Play wrestling games, you know.
That's the dream, isn't it?
That would be the
goal.
dream, yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
To just sit here every time, talk about wrestling, have people listen, and obviously pay for what they like, and obviously subscribers. If we did create a Patreon in the future, then I would say, obviously, people who pay get to choose what we do. So we'll put polls out, and people can choose what we do. So we choose what we do, don't we? We choose what episode we're going to do, what we're going to talk about. Whereas, obviously, on a Patreon, you can get the fans to vote on what you want to talk about, like you did with the WWE games.
So yeah, I put a poll after that. That was a poll on Spotify, which quite a few people voted for. That's how we ended up doing that one. So yeah, I will put up another poll soon. But yeah, like you said, we generally pick what we want to talk about, whether that be good, bad, somewhere in between. If it's something that someone might like, someone might not like it. I do want to give more people the chance to, send in what they might want to hear. Again, that's why we have the email address now. So if there's something that you want us to talk about, we will talk about it. Whether I might know it and you don't, and you probably have to go and watch it or look upon it, is another question entirely, really.
I think like when people ask questions, it's something that both of us can answer. But again, you have your knowledge of wrestling, obviously from different eras. I have my knowledge, and you obviously we like some of the same things, but again, we also like different things or different eras, shall we say?
Obviously, if we both like the same thing, I think it'd make it very boring. Obviously, there's things that you like that I probably don't, and there's things that I like that you probably don't. Case in point, the Great American Bash 89, because I heard you whinging about that for weeks.
Okay, so...
Do you want to tell the people? Do you want to explain to the people why you've been whinging about it?
Because I don't like Lex Luger. Simple. Can't stand Lex Luger. Well, it's not one day I can't stand him. I just think Lex Luger is a very boring character. And trying to get into watching matches with him and stuff can be quite... It's just like, get it over and done with.
I suppose it's a bit like Marmite. Either you love him or you hate him. I'm sort of indifferent to Lex Luger. I'd probably say earlier Lex Luger is fine. WWE Lex Luger, not
Not
so
so much.
much. And then his WCW return in '94. Again, not so much. I'd probably say it's earlier run, really, but that's just my opinion.
I don't like WWF Lex Luger.
Mm.
I'm not a massive. I liked him better in WCW when he returned.
Mm-hmm.
But that was for a short period of time, and then again, it was It's not like he played the same. Obviously, he was always playing the same character because that's what he was. But it just got very boring and stale very quickly. But that's for another story. Let's get on with All In.
Yeah, so let's get back to All In. So again, yes, we attended All In last week, 2024, and we also was there for 2023 as well.
We was, and we're going to Forbidden Door 25.
We went there last year, and obviously we didn't cover anything then from it. Again, I think we just went as fans.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. We sort of missed out on the boat there. I'm doing a review on that. But yeah, 2024. So we went there, we got to Wembley, and we arrived there at 2:30, if I'm not mistaken.
We did. Yeah, we did.
So I just want to say, for anyone that's going to Wembley, if you're going by coach, train, tube, you will not have as much of a difficult time as we did getting into Wembley driving. So the drive to London, well, the outskirts of London, was not that bad. But the parking situation in Wembley, just like last year, absolute shambles, because no one can give you a straight answer of where the car parking is, and you try and follow the road signs, and it just don't make any sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like, we must have asked, 6 different people to try and find where the parking was?
Yeah, so we asked 6 different people, we got 6 different answers. It's not signposted very well. Obviously, you follow the signs up to a certain point, but because they have the road blocked off in key areas, so as you're following the signs we were at the blue car parking, eventually you just end up back on a main strip of road, which then you have to come back up, like we did, we have to go back around the roundabout and back up the road, and then stop again and ask. I think we asked the same guy twice, and this time he actually told us, oh yeah, it's up that road, that's barriered off. Well, they had all the cones there.
Oh yeah, we must have drove past that point about 3 times as well.
Yeah, it must have been that amount of times. But so we had that problem last year. We had that problem again this year. So again, people going by coach, train, tube, they probably wouldn't have that issue as much as we did. And sure as other people that had been driving there as well. But it's the same deal. We got there same time. I think last year was roughly around about the same time. So we were waiting around. So when we went to 2023, we didn't go and have a look at this year, but 2023 we walked around the arena. We looked at some of the merchandise stalls, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've seen how rammed they were. We've seen people walking around with bags, AEW tote bags with t-shirts in there, scarves, foam fingers, championship belts, usual stuff. We didn't do that this year. I know you wanted to get a t-shirt, and I thought about getting a t-shirt, but we never ventured really anywhere near the merchandise stands. I did hear a report that this year they didn't take as much with them as they did in 2023. So it was very limited this year.
But you know when we went last year?
Yeah.
I brought the t-shirt after the show. But now think of how this year when we walked around the whole entire bloody stadium once we got inside, there was nothing. Apart from the food, which we found right to where we were sitting, there was no stall inside that was like doing t-shirts or anything like that.
No, and I think last year there was quite a few stalls inside as well that were doing t-shirts, and again they were quite rammed as well.
Well, that's where I got my one from.
Yeah, you did, yeah. So again, we didn't really venture around to have a look. Obviously, if we got a t-shirt this year, it would have been a bonus. I did like the new Wembley 24. t-shirts compared to the last year's 23 t-shirts. But I noticed something with AEW, and I was watching a few reviews on YouTube by a couple of YouTubers, and I think it was Hazard F5. He was reviewing the new V3 of the AEW World Championship, and he actually got it from All In 2024. He got the original one from last year from 2023, and he turned and said instead of AEW doing the conversion rate from dollars to pounds, which if you went to a WWE show, they would do the conversion dollar to pound. AEW would just take the dollar sign out and put the pound sign in. So he was saying that he spent £600-700 on the new replica, and obviously it was the same price last year, wasn't it? Because we've seen people walk around with replicas, and you asked someone how they were, and they were about £600-700.
The TNT title was 600, and the main bout, the title AEW World Champion, was 800.
Well, there you go. So that would still be the same in dollars, $800, $600. They just took the currency out, the symbol out, and just put the pound there. So swap from dollars to pounds, which I think is quite of a risky move to do. And at the same time, it's quite a conning way, really, because look at WWE Shop, for example. Okay, you've got some replica belts. I've only got the one at the minute. I did have two. I gave you the other one, but I got the Winged Eagle. Okay, it might be the version 2 Winged Eagle on the baby blue strap, but that only cost me like £180. And that was on. Yeah, it was not too bad. It was about £180-190. It was on sale down from £360. But still, even if I paid $360 for that belt, it is far less than the AEW Championship, which I could probably get 2 WWE belts for the price of one AEW Championship.
I've got the Intercontinental and European from the Attitude Era, those belts. I've got others, but yeah, for them they cost £400 each. So you buy the AEW World Heavyweight Championship for 800. You could buy 2 of your favourite belts from WWE, like whichever ones you like.
As much as I would probably get an AEW belt later on down the line, I don't see how anyone, because it's expensive at Wembley, one, inside the actual place, Wembley itself, and also to get to Wembley is not cheap. And also the ticket price this year was more than what we paid last year. I don't see how anyone can go there after paying, say, travel, hotel, maybe fuel, buying their ticket, and then rock up and go, okay, give me an AEW World Championship. Oh, that's £800, please. So, yeah, that's fine. I just don't see how people can do it, especially currently in the UK, where, we are not doing very well economy-wise, and the cost of living is going up. So for people in America, I'm sure, and the rest of the world, you're probably having a similar crisis to what we're having. I could never justify spending £800 on the title. Even my favourite title design, which is the WWF, which for people don't know is the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the championship that Bruno Sammartino held, W. Graham held, Bob Backlund held, Pedro Morales held. It's basically the same one that Cody Rhodes showed up on SmackDown with. The belt that he said his dad held for all of like a minute before he had the belt taken from him, so he never actually got to win it. So that belt is one of my favourite designs, and it was done by a journeyman wrestler called something Malkovich. Oh, fuck, I can't remember his name now. When something's just going to bother you.
Yeah, happens quite a lot. Do you?
Yeah, it happens quite a lot to me. Sometimes I just have like a moment of like my brain just doesn't want to work.
I'm sure if people check up the bout that you're talking about, they'll find out who made it.
They probably will. Let me just have a look. I might find it. Yeah, it's gonna book me otherwise if I don't find it. You know what? If I can't find it, there you go. Nikita Molkovich. There we go. So it was a bout that was done by Nikita Molkovich, who was a journeyman wrestler who created bouts for many of the territories in the, I'd probably say, late 60s, maybe mid 60s and through the 70s. So that's one of my favourite designs. Anyway, getting back to the story, I could get one of those belts for probably about £500.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is cheap.
Yeah, which is a lot cheaper. So yeah, that really annoys me with AEW. And I hope when they come back next year, because they're coming back next year for Forbidden Door 2025, that they will sort their pricing systems out. Obviously, I will try and find out more leading up to the time. But I think everyone should just, go onto Twitter, go onto Facebook, any social media platform, and just say, AEW, you're coming back to the UK. Can you please do a conversion rate for dollars to pounds? Because if they did that, they would probably get more people buying stuff, especially the championship belts.
Well, I don't know. You look at the queues that we saw. People were still buying stuff.
Yeah, I might be like talking.
I was going to say I don't think they'll ever change it. They're selling stuff as it is, and when we were waiting in the queue to go in, I saw at least 3 people walking around with an AEW world title around their waist. So
there might be.
I'm just going to say that they're not exactly going to change it. I don't think.
Well, no. So I suppose in like what I'm saying might fall on deaf ears, basically. But no, I think if they actually did do a conversion, I think they'd probably have a lot more. All right, okay, people buy stuff, belts, t-shirts,
Yeah, I
anything.
reckon they would, but I don't
If
think
they
they're going to change it.
they would get a lot more because surely, like, all those title belts couldn't have sold out. I know they're there for 2 days because obviously you can go there the day before,
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday. But you tell me that they can't sell all them titles, all those t-shirts. They're just going to go back to the United States with them.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And
so
then when they come over, they buy a load more, and they could pretty much sell them out anyway.
yeah. Anyway, this because I'm just ranting about money.
So once we got there anyway, and we found where we were parking, like I said, we got there an hour early. The doors opened at 3:30. We got straight in. Had to walk halfway around the stadium again, just to where we were staying.
Yeah, so the doors opened up just after 3:30. I think it might have been 20 to 4. We got through, and we were in row 504. 504.
504.
Yeah. So when we came up to obviously where we had to be up, so we had to go up 2, 3 flights of escalators, something like that. We were on 544 or 45, something like that. So yeah, it was quite a long walk round, which, if you're not very fit or if you have someone that's got a disability, it's definitely going to impede that. We were walking around, and eventually we got food, which, again, is just absolutely shocking. So,
Let's put it this way. So I brought us all food. And what was it? Like a little round pot of some chips and chicken wings, and you got your gluten-free food. And I paid 70 quid for 4 little pots.
yeah, so it'd probably been no more bigger than a bowl, a very small bowl. It was basically like a small little takeout. So if anyone's gone into like a high end supermarket and bought like a salad bowl and it comes in that brown card shell, it's basically the same size as that. So yeah, you got a couple of chips in there, and you had some chicken tender strips, and I had the falafel and the chips, and they made the presentation look nice. And you bought 4 Cokes as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, yeah, it came to 70 or just over £70, which again is fucking astronomical. Because again, like I said, it goes back to you paid for your train fare there, or your coach, or your overnight stay, your fuel. You bought yourself a t-shirt. You treat yourself to a fucking title belt, and now you're starving because you've been waiting out there for hours, and then you're going to get some food, and that's £70 on top of that.
Well, I'd like to know how much the food is outside, but there again, that queue was massive.
Yeah, I would probably say it'd be around about the same amount because it's on Wembley's grounds. So I would imagine that it would be near enough the same price comparison.
Mm.
And obviously, it's not like you can take anything into Wembley. So they do ask you to turn out your pockets, and if you have a bag, you have to, show them what's inside your bag. So if you've got anything in there, like a bottle of pop, a sandwich, a pack of crisps, a chocolate bar, half a KFC, half a McDonald's, even a pizza, it's being thrown in the bin. You're not allowed to take it with you.
No, that's how they make their money.
But what was if you was diabetic?
I think you'd have to announce it, wouldn't you?
But then are they going to expect you to throw away, if you're taking sugar-free items because you're diabetic? Or you've got copious amounts of chocolate bars on you because you need it because you're diabetic?
I think you'd have to, again, either announce it or you'd have some proof that you're diabetic.
Well, yeah. Obviously, we're not going to test that theory out. But hey, if anyone is diabetic and you attended the show and you got frisked down, patted down, your cavity search and spread eagled, email us and let us know what your experience was. So anyway, getting back to what we were saying. So so we were 5:44. We had to get to 5:04. We got food. Obviously, it cost you £70. We got to where we were sitting. So last year we were on the other side of the arena, pretty much still in the same sort of row area, wasn't we?
Yeah, we were just on the opposite side this time.
Yeah, so we're on the opposite side. So it was good because we got to see the stage and we got to see the ring. Excuse me. Whereas last year we were sitting right behind the stage and we couldn't see it, but we had a clear view at the ramp and the ring. So there was a bit of a bummer. But we could see the monitor that was the other side of Wembley. We could see that clear as day. So obviously, where we already are at the minute, everyone looks like fucking ants, as it is. This year, it's the same effect, but obviously, again, we get to see a little bit more. And there's a monitor above the ring, but we can't see the giant monitor, the LCD, to the left of us because of the fucking glare from the sun and then the lights. So yeah, we couldn't win.
They didn't think about the sun, did they?
No, they didn't think of the sun one fucking bit. And just to point out, last year they sold, what was it, 83,000 tickets?
Yeah.
And I think it was only like 71,000, 72-ish turned up.
They told us 81,000 and whatever turned up, whereas actually Wembley released the figures and it was something like 71.
So yeah, I'm just going to find out. So AEW All In 2023 attendance. Let's find out. So the promotion claimed a total attendance of 81,035 had turned up, but the real answer That's this year's, which I will get onto this year's attendance. So, however, local government data, which is free, anyone can contact, the Borough of London, Wembley, to get these figures. It's not, sworn to secrecy. Anyone can get access to them. View me, Joe Blogs down the street. 72,265.
So they lied.
Yeah, so it was probably a case of, they sold 81,000 tickets.
But only that many turned up.
Yeah, because obviously you got people coming through the turnstiles. They're all being recorded and clicked, and obviously for every ticket scanned. So they're going to get the true attendance from that. Even still, 72,000 fans is not bad.
Very good turnout.
Very good turnout. Whereas this year we got there and the right side of the arena had been curtained off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you knew that was a great start straight away, that they didn't have many turnout this year as they did last year. Although I will say, when we were outside waiting to go in, it looked like there was a lot more people outside compared to the previous year. But, previous year, if everyone's hanging around the merch stall, they were around there. Whereas this year, it seemed like there's more people waiting just to get in. So there is no accurate figure yet of this year's attendance. I had a look, and it varies anywhere between 50,000 and 55,000 tickets sold.
Yeah, last time I looked, before we went, I think they were on 54,000. I can't remember the rest of it, but it was close to 55. That was tickets being sold.
Like you said, there is no, accurate figure. I've seen people say 51, 54, 55, 50. So I'm just going to say anywhere between 50 and 50,000 people turned up. Well, tickets sold. I wouldn't say that's how many people turned up. Because obviously we noticed, whereas last year Tony Khan, made the big speech about the attendance record and how many people turned up, and this year he did nothing.
No, he did. He introduced Martha Hart.
Oh, introduced Martha Hart, but he didn't say what the attendance was. Well, to be fair, he didn't really need to say what the attendance was. We could see it on the side that had no fans in it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, getting back to the main story. So once we got to our seats, we sat down. I took a couple of pictures, you took a couple of pictures, and obviously that's when we noticed about the other side of the arena being curtained off.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew there wasn't that many fans this year compared to last year. And obviously we waited. I think, what time did the show start? It might have been after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, not long after 4.
Yeah, so they started off with the 0 hour. One thing they didn't do this year, but they did last year, is we had the introduction from Justin Roberts with the commentary team. We had Tony Schiavone say a couple of things last year, whereas this year they didn't really announce the commentary team, did they, at all?
No. The 0 hour commentary team was different to the... Obviously, it was always different to the main show anyway.
Yeah, and obviously they had Jeff Jarrett on the 0 hour as well, and I think they just had a
on the pre-show you had, like you said, Matt. Who's Matt Menard?
Yeah, Matt Bernard, yeah.
He was on the pre-show. Tony Schiavone was on the pre-show. Excalibur was on the pre-show as well.
Oh.
And then it says here that the main event ones was Jim Ross, Nigel McGuinness. Well, first 2 pay-per-view matches because he left then. Taz, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur.
Yeah. Well, again, if you're not checking beforehand, obviously you're not going to know who's there.
And then your
again,
pre-show hosts were Renee Paquette, RJ City, Jeff Jarrett, and Madison Rain.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but I like how Jim Cornette says it, and I'm going to give a big shout out to Jim Cornette. I like the way he says, Renee Paquette. He calls her Renee Moxley good, and I just, that's a lot more fitting than Renee Paquette or Paquette or however you pronounce it. Fuck it, I don't care. So I didn't know Jim Ross was going to be there. I know he had some health concerns, and then there was going to be over. And again, if they don't announce who the fucking commentary team is, you ain't going to know.
No.
So 0 hour, they had all the talking heads on all the giant LCDs. Couldn't hear a fucking thing. You think if you're showing footage of the talking heads talking back and forth, and you've got Jeff Jarrett down by ringside, surely you could fucking, even though you're projecting that on a monitor, give me some sound. Let me hear what they're saying.
Are you going to do that?
I'm just watching a talking heads fucking yapping.
You only get that if you watch it on TV.
I'm not watching it on TV though, am I? I've just spent fucking £55, nearly £60 for a ticket, plus whatever else to go there. At least let me hear what they're talking about. They could be talking about fucking anything. They could be talking about fucking catering, for all I know.
Well, I'm sure they were talking about what was coming up on the pre-show.
Yeah, the video packages this year were a little bit hit and miss as well. I found they weren't that great, and there were some audio issues with some of the video packages. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, they would start a video package, you couldn't hear it, and the next minute it was loud.
Yeah, and like the one where Will Ospreay was talking to Renee. You heard bits of it, but you couldn't hear other bits of it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear a word of it. So really, AEW, you need to sort out your production team a little bit more better. Get some better mixers. Get better people in there. I hear Kevin Dunn's looking for a job.
Yeah. Shall we get on with the matches then? Because
yeah, so we're going to. So there's 3-4 matches on 0 hour, was it?
3.
Okay, so yeah, so
basically, I think this was just like the first match anyway. I think it was just to chuck as many English wrestlers in there as they could in the first match, because you had Tommy Billington, he's English, Ip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight Darius Martin and Dante Martin. And they went up against Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Daivari, Private Party, and the Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Which was a 16-man tag team match. And it was all right. I didn't think it was mind-blowing. And I think it was just to get as many English stars on the show as they possibly could. That wasn't going to be in the main event. Well, not on the main show.
I have to admit, it was okay. I did like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge from Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington wearing the WrestleMania 3. Was it WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 2?
Was it WrestleMania 2 ring attire?
Yeah, the white truck with the Union Jack flag on the back. So that might be WrestleMania 2. I think they might all at WrestleMania 3 as well. Because I'm sure. Yeah.
The British Bulldog.
I'll circle back around to that. The British Bulldog. I'm sure they wear it either WrestleMania 2 or WrestleMania 3. WrestleMania 2 is when they won the belts. WrestleMania 3 is, I'm sure, they went up against the Hart Foundation with Dangerous Danny Davis. I will have to have a look at that again, folks.
But yeah, like I said, it went for 11 minutes 35. I think it was warm up the crowd, and then you get your hot spots of everybody hitting the finishing move and knocking everyone out the ring, just to get people interested, like geared up for the main event. And like you said, the the team of Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kaya Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action, Andretti, and Top Flight won that match. So basically, the good guys. Like I said, it was a nice little back and forth. Just get everybody geared up to what's to come in the main event. And like I said, it was that match wasn't even announced. Like going into the show, we thought there was only the next two pre-show matches, and then when we got there, this one was announced that it was the first match, and it was like, didn't even know this was coming on.
It was thrown together quite hastily, and there was a lot of people in there, and you think, there's, what was it, 16 people?
Yeah, 8 men on each team.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to try and get in. High spots, certain spots, finishers, false finishes, making sure every man gets, sort of equal time in and out the ring. And you can see throughout when we were watching it, there was a lot of people on the outside, just taking a break, waiting for the right back in, whether that to be breakaway pin or to be a part of the next spot or a double team. So
Weasel was going to run and jump out the ring, knock everybody over.
So it was a lot to try and keep track of, especially one from where we were, and you were trying to watch the screen as well, and also trying to watch the action in the ring. So it was quite a lot going on. Okay, the match didn't go on for that long. It was only, 11 minutes, you said?
11 minutes 35.
11 minutes 35. So that breezed past really, really quick. But yeah, it was a throwaway match. If we turned up and that had just finished as we got to our seats, I don't think I'd be that upset I missed it.
No, like I said, I think it was just there to get more people on the show and see how many people they could, get on, like I said, put out there before the main show came on, because not only was there a 16-man tag, but not the next match, but the match after the last match was a 10-man tag. So that's like 26 people in 2 matches.
Yeah. I think the next...
What's that? Just short of the Royal Rumble match. But the next match, Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii against Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway.
You want me to help you out there a little bit? It sounds like you're having a stroke on the other end of that line. So yeah, Willow Nightingale and tomorrow. You got me saying it now. Tomohiro Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii versus
Never getting in.
And Stokely Hathaway. So, what do you say about
it? It was fine for what it was. I mean, it only lasted 8 minutes 10 seconds. But what you got to think that match was obviously since when Willow Nightingale and that won, she gets to choose the stipulation between Nightingale and Statlander at All Out. So I'm guessing if Statlander had won, she would choose, whoever won would choose the stipulation. Like you said, you got, obviously, Stokely Hathaway's not a wrestler. We know that, but he did get some good, he did a spine buster, which was quite impressive.
He had his moments, but the majority of the match was mainly more Nightingale and Statlander. Like, you have Hathaway come in, do a couple of things and then back out the ring again.
Well, he went to start, then he tagged in Statlander. Statlander and Willow Nightingale did most of the match, and then obviously when they hit that hot tag where he had to come in, and he hit the spine buster and hit a few other moves, but then Ishii just got up and just, well, even Statlander got in and hit Ishii, didn't she, to stop Stokely Hathaway getting hit. But in the end, Willow Nightingale in that one. Like I said, it was a throwaway match for us, but it's leading to maybe something more All Out, which is, I think, in a week's time now.
Yeah, I think it's roughly about that. So, as I said, I'm looking here, and some of the top takeaways from the match was, Hathaway broke out a quality spine buster on Ishii. I'm sure he must have been practicing that move for a good solid couple of weeks, maybe a month, busting it out all in. What else? Ishii sold more for Statlander's forearms. Yes, Statlander's quite a tall, imposing woman. You can sort of there a little bit for her. I think Statlander, she's a little bit smaller frame than Rhea Ripley, but you can make it sort of believable that if she would hit you, whether that be a forearm strike, a chop, or anything like that, you can sort of sell it a little bit.
Yeah,
Not, but you could sell it and say, oh, she is making a dent and impact on that person.
Yeah. And then the last match on the 0 hour, which was the 10-man tag, was the Von Erichs, Marshall, and Ross. Sammy Guevara, I can't pronounce that first name, but Shibata is his last name, and Dustin Rhodes. And they were taking on the Undisputed Kingdom of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and Cage of Agony, which is Bishop Khan, Brian Cage, and Toa Leona. And that was a 10-man tag again. 11 minutes, 10 seconds. It was there because basically Dustin Rhodes is the tag team Ring of Honor tag team champions with Sammy Guevara, but is also the Ring of Honor, is it Trios tag team champion with the Von Erichs? So, yeah, so it was just, again, a little match to end the 0 hour before going in to the main event. And like I said, for what it was fun. You had Matt Taven from the Undisputed Kingdom and Sammy Guevara, who were on different teams. Both had their attire inspired by Wolverine.
I thought it was Brian Cage.
No, Brian Cage didn't. Well, not that I noticed, but definitely Sammy Guevara and Matt Taven from the Undisputed Kingdom. It's about the Undisputed Era then, but that's a strong team.
I'm just looking here, and this is on Sportskeeper's website. So again, top moments and takeaways. Guevara and Cage both wore Wolverine spy gear. Looking more like cohesive partners than some of the airing through these. So,
Brian Cage as well then.
Yeah, so Brian Cage and Sammy Guevara. I think Brian Cage looked a little bit more better than Sammy Guevara, because I know Sammy Guevara wears budgie smugglers compared to full length jocks. Brian Cage, and to be fair, Brian Cage is he could be a very good cosplay Wolverine. Fucking built
he's built quite. I think, like I said, he's a shit house, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's got the mutton chop going on as well, so it's a pull off. Anyway, it was an okay match. It was nice to see Dustin as always. I enjoy watching Dustin working. He broke at Crossroads, if I remember rightly.
He did.
Yes, he broke out at Crossroads.
Not as good as Cody, but
no. And then he also done Spin Rooney as well, didn't he?
Well, he tried.
Yeah, well, he tried.
And it was also nice to see Kevin Von Erich.
Yes, it was very nice to see Kevin Von Erich in the ring at the end.
Putting the claw on somebody. I can't remember who he put it on, but he put it on somebody. And that was nice to see. Something different.
It was very nice. And it's always nice to see Kevin Von Erich in any capacity, really. But it's kind of a shame that we don't keep up with Ring of Honor, because obviously it was a surprise to me, to find out that Dustin was a tag team champion with Sammy Guevara, but also a trio champion with the Von Erichs.
I'd heard it. I didn't. Obviously, Obviously, it's harder to get Ring of Honor over here because you have to subscribe to you have to subscribe to it.
Oh,
And I'm thinking if you get AEW, you should really get Ring of Honor with it, but they're two separate subscriptions. So
yeah,
if
I
they put
know.
it together, it'd be easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would make it easier. It would be nice if they just had like the WWE Network where everything was on there. You pay one price and you're not paying two subscriptions.
Well, put it this way: you go through Fight, you pay. If you get the AEW, you get Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. And if you pay for Ring of Honor, you get their show. That doesn't include the pay-per-views, which are at least £20, about £20 for each and every, like, All In, All Out, Double or Nothing. So you're already paying your subscription for just the weekly TV shows, and then the pay-per-views are extra. Whereas, like I said, on the WWE, everything is there.
Yeah, you're only paying $9.99.
Yep.
Which is, I can't fault it. As much as people, moan about the WWE, it's probably one of the best things that WWE's ever done. Is put everything.
Well, it is, because you can watch whatever you, well, not whatever you want, but you can watch majority of the things you want.
Yeah, they've got WCW on there, ECW, AWA. You can watch all the back catalogue of pay-per-views, Raws, SmackDown. I don't know about that. NXT.
NXT is there. I mean, I wouldn't watch NXT 2.0, that shit, but NXT, the black and gold brand, when Triple H was bringing in all these indie wrestlers, that was a really good time for NXT.
Oh, yeah.
But so anyway, moving on to the main event, the main show, which was for the World Trio Championships in a four-way London ladder match. Still don't know what a London ladder match is. It's just a ladder match, isn't it? Let's be honest. You had Pac and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta teaming up to take on the patriarchy of Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne with Mother Wayne. Then you had the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn, and the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. So you thought a singles match would start the main show, and so we had two tag team matches. You were wrong, but I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was probably not the best, but one of the best matches on the show.
It has some very good moments, especially at the beginning. Christian being a chicken shit heel and getting out the ring and running halfway up the ramp and disappearing for a little while. I thought that was quite clever.
Yeah.
Because everyone just seemed to go for the patriarchy.
Well, the patriarchy's been taking out everybody else, haven't they? Didn't they take out like Buddy Matthews and of the House of Black, and I'm pretty sure they've been attacking the Bang Bang Gang as well.
Oh yeah, I think they've been on a bit of a rampage lately on AEW TV.
Yeah, so I think Christian running away because he knew they were going to attack the patriarchy. I mean, I think Nick Wayne, as much as I don't like him, I think he did quite some good moves in the match. Actually did, more than what he normally does. I really liked that Juice Robinson was going to put Mother Wayne through a table. I thought that was going to be excellent until Killswitch decided to break it up. When they pulled out that enormous ladder, that was like a lot higher than what the belts were dangling above the ring.
That must have been a 20-foot ladder, maybe a little bit higher, but definitely.
Oh, that was a very, very big ladder. And I liked at the end that Killswitch and Christian Cage did exactly the same move as what Rhino and Christian did in WWE when Rhino helped them win the tag team titles, Edge and Christian.
Shoulders climbing up the ladder, yeah.
Right on his shoulders climbing up the ladder, but then obviously Pac comes up the other side, kicks them off, which was got a loud pop, and then an even louder pop when Pac pulled down the titles. Well, the title.
Yeah, it was a good match. Firework going off there.
I've got fireworks here as well.
So it was an entertaining match. It kept me glued to it, whereas the other couple is again, if something went on, I wouldn't have really cared if I missed certain aspects of it. Whereas this one seemed to hold my gaze for a lot longer. And yeah, overall it was a good match, and I didn't really expect for the Blackpool Combat Club with Pac to win.
No, I didn't. But it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
And obviously, you know what it is? It's because obviously Pac's English, isn't it? Look what happened last year with Saraya. She only won it because she was in England. And I think that's what they've done with Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club. I reckon, like the Patriarchy or House of Black or Bang Bang Gang, I reckon they'll get them in the next coming weeks. I think it was just to give the English crowd a hometown win for the Pac.
Yeah, which was a shame because the Pac wasn't on last year's.
No, he was in it, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
But yeah, that match, like I said, was 18 minutes, 50 seconds, but it kept me glued to it. I really liked that match. And I don't mind Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club winning. I don't mind. I like Pac. I don't mind Claudio Castagnoli. I'm not a massive fan of Wheeler Yuta, but out of the 4 teams in there, I probably wanted the House of Black to win it, but you will know as well, how over was Brody King?
He was over.
Mega over.
Everyone was just barking. Whenever that was it, I was just like, hoo. And which is quite weird because you wouldn't expect him to be over that much over here.
No, you thought. I mean, massive pop was for Pac when he won it.
Yes.
But yeah, when Brody King was in the ring barking, the whole crowd did it with him. Like, he was mega over.
He was really over in this. But, the fans were still happy when, obviously, Pac won and Yuta and Castagnoli that erupted for that, which was good. Like I said, it was a good match. I enjoyed watching it. Could have gone maybe a little bit shorter, because after a while, you could see a lot of people trying to figure out what to do next. So if the match was just a little bit short by a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes.
I was going to say, I think it went long enough to get all the spots in and to eventually, like I said, for Pac to get the win. I think it was good. The next match, though, didn't live up to the hype of what the first match did. It was Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Personally, I think this should have went first.
Yeah, right. So before we continue any further, okay? Again, I'm on. Did I say I was on Sportskeeda? I take it back. I'm on the Bleacher Report. Both similar sort of websites, anyway. But obviously, they've got grades for the matches, and obviously, again, they've got key points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go through it. So the pre-show, they gave the 16-man tag a C+, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii and Chris Statlander and Sterling Hathaway, C+. 10-man tag, C+. Then get to the trio that gets a B plus. I agree with that, a B plus. Now, some of the pre-show matches, I wouldn't give them a C plus. I'd probably give them a C minus, maybe a fucking D. That's my opinion, and I'm sure your opinion differs as well. But this one, I have no idea what they are fucking smoking or taking to give this grade. So you just about Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah May. Guess what fucking ranking they gave this match? What grade?
A B plus.
You're close. They gave an A plus.
I wouldn't have said that.
Neither would I. I would probably given the ladder match like an A minor.
I was going to say the ladder match beats this match. In fact, most matches beat this match. This match maybe beats one match.
Yeah, like I said, I would have given the ladder match an A minor, and I would have probably given the other 10-man tag match, I'd probably do a B, maybe a B minor. The women's match, I'll downgrade that a C.
I think the story. I think they told a good story. There was obviously a build up to it, more than the other women's match that came later. And even though Mariah May is the English wrestler, everyone was chanting for Toni Storm. That's what I found a bit weird.
Yeah, everyone seemed to go mental for Toni Storm when Mariah May was coming out. She got
got booed.
Yeah. But then when she won...
I was going to say, she got booed mega, but Toni Storm got a good cheer. Like I said, I think there was a few spots in there where Toni had hit the... is it the Storm Driver? The finishing move?
Yeah, fucking pile driver.
Yeah. And Mariah May stuck her finger up after she got a 2 count. And then when Mariah May tried to take the Women's World Championship and Luther held onto it and he stuck his finger up at her.
Yeah, there was small little bits.
There was comedy bits in there which were funny, I will admit. But they tried to put Mariah May over mega because she had more of the offense than Toni Storm. Toni Storm didn't have much offense whatsoever in this match. It was all built for Mariah May, and I think they thought Mariah May would get a cheer being English, but she didn't. Even when she won the match, she got booed.
Yeah. Well, she got
again,
mainly booed, but she did get a cheer in there as well when she won.
I think, again, it's an English person that they basically think, let's put them over in their home country and, we'll take the title off her in a couple of weeks. But before we carry on, we did see Saraya this time.
Oh, we did.
Because just after the 10-man tag, so just before the main event, Saraya came out with whoever she hangs around with and basically was saying to the crowd that she's, playing the heel, she's the best wrestler and nobody can beat her in her home country, blah, blah, blah. And then Jamie Hayter comes out to a roaring ovation, to be fair. She got quite a loud pop. But Saraya got out of the ring very quickly. So I think there's going to be a feud starting between Saraya and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, that's right. So Saraya came out with the entire Knight family. But
it wasn't the Knight family. Yeah, I found out it was actually independent English wrestlers.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Okay. And that's why Jamie Hayter, because she beat them all down, didn't she, to get into the ring to go against Saraya, but Saraya chickened out, basically.
Yeah, so Saraya came out and she was annoyed that she wasn't on the show and that she won the belt. That she's the biggest thing in AEW and pretty much ran down everybody. accompany the English fans, try and get as much heat as possible, which worked. And then obviously, like I said, when Jamie Hayter came out, that was it. The place sort of went a little bit mental for it.
Yeah.
It would.
It should have been on the main show.
Yeah, I could have gone without seeing that. They could have just had that on Dynamite, a Collision.
I think coming back, I think it should have been in the other women's match later in the night. That might have elevated it a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, obviously Jamie Hayter returned. For the next match, 10 minutes, 15 seconds, Hook and Chris Jericho for the SAW Championship. And obviously, this was the last chance Hook was getting at the champion. If he lost, he wouldn't be able to go for it again.
Yes.
And now, again, like the Mariah May Timeless Tony Storm, it wasn't really a great match. It was kind of a goofy match just to get Hook and Jericho on the show. I mean, they did some good spots with the cricket bat and the cricket balls, and Big Bill going through a table with barbed wire and not selling it at all. But it was nice to see Taz do the Taz mission on, what's the guy's name? Brian Keefe.
Yes.
It was nice to see Taz get the Taz mission on him. At the same time that Hook had his submission on Jericho and Jericho tapped out. But I think this match wasn't so much about what was going on in the ring, but I think it was more that Jericho was trying to get Fozzy over because they did his entrance again.
Yeah, they're here again. Guaranteed they'll probably be there next year. But I noticed that a lot of people, were chanting for Big Bill. Which again is you wouldn't normally think.
No, you wouldn't.
But good reaction from the crowd.
I mean, it got a good reaction. I mean, I watched something on YouTube about some people who were the opposite side to us. And we didn't notice this personally, but we noticed it a bit later. But a lot of people on the other side of the arena was going to the toilet during this match. This match wasn't. A lot of people wasn't really into it. So I was taking toilet breaks for this match.
Yeah. So this was some other people's piss break match. Now, I thought the match was okay. I wouldn't be hyped to, I wasn't hyped to see it sort of thing. It was just an okay match. Again, like I said, there was some good comedy bits in there with the cricket ball, the cricket bat. When they got that barbed wire out, at some point someone's going to go through it. It's just a case of who and when. Yes, it was nice to see Taz at the end. You see a good suplex from Hook onto Chris Jericho. It was an okay match. It was fun.
You know I like Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But even I think this match wasn't good. The fact that Big Bill and Brian Keefe kept on interfering. It was basically like a handicap match. Because I don't think Jericho can go to the lengths he used to. I mean, he hit a Lion Salt. We did see that. That was quite good. But I don't think he can go as much as what he used to. Because obviously he's in his 50s now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still like Jericho. I think he's a good, he's good. Hook, I like. But yeah, I think this was like the last of the comedy matches because the next couple of matches started to pick up and got quite good reactions for them.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is Jericho needs to switch back to fucking long jocks or tights. He needs to switch back. No more budgie smugglers, please.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think he does need to go back to longer trousers, tights, whatever you call them.
It's going to get to a point. It's going to look like a fucking 2 oranges hanging out of the sack.
Yeah, don't need to say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like
he does need to change. I will agree with that.
yeah, it is change. I'm not over keen on the whole fucking learning tree thing.
What? Hi guys.
Yeah, I'm not over keen on that. See, Jericho was good because when he came to AEW, he started the Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Got good, and then obviously he was also in Japan. He had the whole Alpha versus Omega battle with Kenny Omega. That Kenny Omega that was okay. So there are times, and I will give Jericho this. He has been around for a long time, and there are moments where he has pure genius. Either runs or segments that people, click onto it and they go, "Oh, that's great." And then there's other moments where you think, "Well, why is he doing this?" So
This is
when,
one of those things.
yeah, when you had the whole Le Champion thing, that was spur of the moment, especially when said, a little bit of the bubbly, which would have been something, because obviously he's practicing it with the line, it would have, but then that everyone went mental for it, and it became a whole big thing, a big meme.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Inner Circle was great, because it made them quite unpredictable. They're not always the best, because Jake Hager half time just ended up doing fucking nothing.
Well, he was there. He was the bodyguard. That's all he was.
Yeah, but he could have done a lot. They could have done a lot more with him. But it put people on people's radar, like Sammy Guevara. It also put
Santana and Ortiz.
Ortiz on people's radar as well, even though people would have known Santana Ortiz as Alex from TNA.
Mm-hmm.
It also,
That's if they watch TNA.
yeah, but it put them on a lot of people's radars as well. And when the Pinnacle started coming around, it made those sort of battles pretty good. And I think when they had the first Stadium Stampede,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty cool as well. And
It,
then
put, it started to get people over in AEW, which was the whole point of it. But yeah, I agree. He's had some really good gimmicks, and then at the moment, this learning tree shit is him just trying to get over on a new gimmick, and I don't think it's working as much as what he hoped it would.
yeah, it's not working out. Like I said, the Champion, the Wizard, even his original Y2J gimmick from WWE, even when he was known as, the Lion Tamer, Chris Jericho, was his run in WCW where he was targeting the cruiserweights, or he was going after Dean Malenko, and he was the man of 1,004 holds.
What you mean? Number 1, armbar.
Yeah,
Number 4, armbar.
yeah. And it'd be like something like Saskatchewan armbar and something like that. And it was, again, things like that. He has moments of genius. And obviously, I can understand, you want to keep evolving yourself or evolving your character because it keeps it fresh in people's minds. You're not going to get stale and things like that.
I just think this time Jericho's tried too many new gimmicks in a short period of time.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely tried way too many gimmicks, because the last time I checked, he was literally the Wizard, and the next minute he went from the Wizard to the learning tree, and I was like, when the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. Well, let's move on from Chris Jericho. The next match was the three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. Yeah, this was a good match. It was all right for a tag team match. I like that the whole crowd was singing "Scissor Me Daddy."
Mm-hmm.
And when the Acclaim came out, whatever his name is, Max Caster, obviously did his thing. Again, wasn't as offensive as they normally are, but obviously he did his thing. I like that they did different things, like where Max Caster and Matt Jackson did the V trigger kick.
Yes.
And then when Max Caster and Cash Wheeler did the Shatter Machine on Matt Jackson.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, it was a good tag team match. I mean, you've got three, if not two of the best tag teams in there, in the Young Bucks and FTR. And I think, like, it was good. It could have been better. It could have gone for longer, I thought. But did you notice that the Jacksons were dressed up as the Beatles?
Yes, it did, because I pointed out to you when they came out, and I trying to say, "Oh, they're doing the Sergeant Pepper
Yeah.
gimmick this year," whereas last year they Queen, Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
which I think even Jericho did a little bit as well. I think.
Well, I was going to say, I remember us watching it and we couldn't tell which one was Matt and which one was Nick.
Yeah, that took a while trying to figure that one out.
Because they've now both got dark hair and dark moustaches. Yeah.
Yes, hasn't got blonde hair anymore, or blondish brownish hair.
But yeah, like I said, I think the match was good. Went for 12 minutes, 5 seconds. Oh, and Jericho's was 10 minute 15. But yeah, this one went like 12 minutes. It was a nice little tag team match. I think it could have had more. And the Young Bucks won, which I wasn't happy about, but I wanted FTR to win them, but you don't get everything your own way.
No, I would appreciate the FTR would have won the match. Again, there's some great spots in there. You know, it seemed like the Shatter Machine or the Big Rig, big whatever you want to call it.
Or even the Acclaimed at one point, I thought they were going to win it after Billy Gunn had hit the Fameasser, and then they hit their finishing move. I thought, right, the Acclaimed are winning this, but no. Nick Jackson saved it.
Yeah, didn't we even see a WhatsApp? At one point. I think it might have been from.
Yeah. Yes, we did. The Acclaim, in fact, it was the Acclaim that did it.
Oh yes, it was. But yeah, again, it was a good match. It would have been nice seeing FTR win it. But obviously, you know, the Bucks have to win it. The Lollipop Guild had to win. But I'm sure that's going to set up bigger things for All Out, which is in Texas.
Well, we can say it now. I'm sure everybody's seen All In, but after the match, the grizzled young veterans turned up.
Yes, that's right, and jumped.
They stared at the Jacksons first, didn't they?
Yeah, they stared at the Jacksons.
And then they attacked FTR.
That's right.
Because now they're obviously, I saw something on YouTube earlier that's setting up a rivalry between the grizzled young veterans and FTR.
Where is All Out this month?
Say that again?
Where is All Out this month? It's not Chicago again, is it?
I have no idea where it is. I just know it's next week.
Let's find out where is All Out this year.
All Out, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
All Out is in Hoffman Estates, Illinois.
Okay. So that's yeah. It was all going to be in Texas next year, isn't it? That's why we're not getting an all.
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, All In is in Texas next year, and Forbidden Doors over here.
Yeah, so we're getting a bit of a change up there.
I think it's because All In had a dip in sales, so do Forbidden Door, bringing in New Japan wrestlers as well. It's going to hopefully boost the ticket sales.
Yeah, but you're seeing New Japan stars in All In.
Well, we did. Well, I was going to say we saw a few, but I think they'll bring more. At the next match, which was there was 2 matches at 26 minutes and one at 25:50, but was the Gauntlet match. Now, this picked up the crowd. This match was as a singles match, obviously thinking that this match was probably the one that they put there to get the most pops, especially number 3 and number 5. Because you had Orange Cassidy and Okada start it off, and then the next one was Nigel McGuinness. Well, if the roof was on Wembley, it would have blown off.
Yeah, it would have done for Nigel McGuinness, yes. It was quite a surprise to see him
Yeah.
come out wrestling.
And then Kyle O'Reilly was the next entrant, followed by Zack Sabre Jr., which got quite a nice pop as well for him.
Mm-hmm.
Roderick Strong, then Mark Briscoe, Hangman Adam Page, Jeff Jarrett, and then probably the second biggest pop was Ricochet when he turned up. Then Christian Cage, and then Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
When they said, well, I was going to say, when he came up as Luchasaurus and not Killswitch, I thought, here we go, they're going to change. They're going to make Luchasaurus turn on Christian.
Yeah, that got a pop for some reason.
Because everyone thought it's Luchasaurus, not Killswitch.
Yeah, but you could sort of see where that was going.
I wanted them to pull it because it's been going on for a year now. It's getting old. Pull it, just have Luchasaurus turn and move on with it. But yeah, obviously, very good match. Very, again, like a match for hot spots and stuff, just to, show different things from different moves from different people. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Like, not knowing it, I only know Orange Cassidy was in it, and then Hangman Adam Page. But yeah, just seeing these different people come down every 2 minutes or whatever it was, and I thought it was a really good match. The ending let me down when Christian Cage won.
Yeah,
I didn't want Christian to win. There was many people that could have won this match, but not him.
I think a lot of people are banking on the fact that Ricochet would have been the one to win it.
See, I didn't even want Ricochet to win, like, necessarily. I just think there was other people that could have had a push by winning this match. Obviously, they've got something lined up for Christian, so
yeah,
I don't think it's a world title match, but
it's going to be the trio titles again.
Yeah, that's how they'll get them back, and maybe if they lose them, Killswitch turns on Christian and ends that story.
I don't think so. I think that's going to go on for maybe a little bit more while. It could be a case of if they do pull the trigger on that, then it'd be somehow Luchasaurus in and, accidentally costs them the trios titles, which will then cause Christian Cage to go off and, berate.
And then he'll attack Christian and it ends.
Yeah, that's one way they could go about it. But yeah, a lot of people in the match got a big pop. Nigel McGuinness got a big pop. Zack Sabre Jr. got an okay pop. Ricochet got a good pop. Jeff Jarrett got a good pop. One thing we mentioned was earlier on, Jay Lethal actually got a really good pop. But yeah, it was a match, and I would have preferred if it was the Casino Battle Royal, as it normally is, and not Casino Gauntlet match. Because why is that, changing the script up on that? There's nothing wrong with it being in a Battle Royal. But, yeah, okay, it was a Gauntlet match, and it was to a pinfall, and there was a lot of spots in there, and...
Well, like you said, it was Christian won by pinning Kyle O'Reilly. Poor Kyle.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 matches left, and the next one I know we all liked, and that was Will Ospreay and MJF. Will Ospreay there was like some ninjas entrance thing before he came out. I don't know why. And then he got a massive pop, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then MJF came out with an American suit on. Just being the dickhead that he is.
Well, MJF actually came out decked. His ring gear was that of Lex Luger
Mm-hmm.
late 93, 94.
Yeah, but he also came out decked like Uncle Sam.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this was the 25 minutes, 50 seconds. I mean, I think it was predictable where this match was going. But again, the match itself is probably one of the top 3 matches of the night.
It was a good match. There was
a lot of spots. MJF playing up to, as he does. Will Ospreay hitting every move under the sun. I mean, I think he knocked out a cameraman at one point. He knocked out the referee at one point.
Yeah, there was ring apron.
So, yeah, well, I think he knocked the cameraman out outside. He knocked the referee out in the ring, and then Max went to use the diamond ring.
Yeah.
And then was stopped by someone in a balaclava who took the balaclava off, and it was Daniel Garcia.
That's right, yes.
So he's returned, and I think they're having a match at All Out. But yeah, then it was all about Will Ospreay using the Tiger Driver, wasn't it? That was what the story was going in, that he couldn't bear to use it.
It was, yeah, so it was a case of he would throw everything at MJF to beat him, but he would not bring out the Tiger Driver 91.
Until Bryan Danielson told him to use it.
Yeah, until Bryan Danielson told him to use it. And like I said, a good back and forth. Even at one point, MJF hit that fucking kangaroo kick. But you're seeing Will Ospreay using Cody Cutter, Stormbreaker, everything just to try and beat MJF. And eventually, yes, there was a lot of back and forth sequence towards the end because MJF was hitting, reversing the Tiger Driver into a pile driver, and I think pile driver in the second time. But then it eventually led to the Tiger Driver 91, which was the winning. But yeah, the place absolutely erupted when.
Oh, it went crazy. I mean, everyone, after he hit that Tiger Driver, I think the whole stadium counted to 3 with the referee. And yeah, it blew, like I said again, if Wembley had a roof, it would have been blown off.
Was there a Death Valley driver spot on the outside on the ring?
Yeah, MJF did it on Will Ospreay. I mean, let's be honest, half the moves MJF did to Will Ospreay, it looked like it was going to kill him.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, again, like I said, it was a very good match because MJF had the American Championship, which is now gone back to the International Championship. But I think MJF's now got a new feud with Daniel Garcia, so I don't think that these two are going to fight anytime soon. But it was a very good match. I liked it. Top 3 of the night. Can't say the same for the next match. Mercedes Moné with Camille against Dr. Britt Baker, the MD.
Now, when I said earlier there was a piss break match coming up, and obviously you mentioned the Jericho and Hook were the piss break match for most people.
The other side of the arena where these people were sitting there watching on YouTube, a lot of people went there. But our side, this was the piss break match.
Yeah, so this was definitely a piss break match, and this is I got up to go.
You went at the beginning of the Will Ospreay MJF.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went just before that. But yeah, as you went to go for a piss during this match, as you said, there was a lot of people queuing up, and it was nothing to write home about, and it was not a good match at all. And I don't get why it was so far in to the card when they could have swapped this, but maybe the Tony Storm and Mariah May match.
The Tony Storm match the Mariah May was better than this one, and the fact that
they could have easily switched that.
Yeah, they could have switched them. I mean, we had 17 minutes, 25 seconds of this, and it was not good. The crowd was silent.
Oh, it was so quiet for this match, and I'm surprised it went on that long. I thought it went on a lot longer than what you just mentioned then. But yeah, the crowd was not into it whatsoever, and then there would be small spots where, the crowd are trying to get into it, and,
You had some of the crowd trying to get people to get into it, but people just were not interested whatsoever. And like I said earlier, if they would have brought Jamie Hayter in at this point to take out Camille, it might have given it a bit more. It might have brought it a bit more to life. But
Britt Baker was trying her best to try and get people invested in the match.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's Britt Baker. I think people just don't like Mercedes Moné. Because she came out in the crowd with... she came out, not in the crowd, sorry, but she came out in a carriage, didn't she, with corgis? As if she was like the queen. Yeah. And she got nothing. But yet, when Britt Baker came out and she did the Doctor DMD, everybody cheered with her. So I don't think it's Britt Baker that wasn't getting the pop. I think it was Mercedes Moné. I don't think she's as over as people think she is.
No, and not the greatest wrestler either. It's the people that she's paired with that normally make her look good.
Yep.
Not saying that Britt Baker didn't make her look good. Britt Baker made her look very good as much as she could in this match.
I think the best part of the match was when she did the Eddie Guerrero cheat thing where she took the chair at Camille and then dropped down to the floor. Britt Baker did.
Yeah.
That got the loudest pop of the match that I remember. It again. If you haven't seen it and you're watching it back, just skip this match. There's no point in watching it.
I'm just looking at what Bleacher Report gave. Obviously, the Will Ospreay and the match they gave that name. I think that deserved that. But they gave the Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné match a B-.
No.
Yeah, what they're smoking, but I would not even give it anywhere near a B, a C, a D, or an E. It'd be fucking something like a Z or Nipa. 0 fucking points.
I was going to say it was the worst match. The next match though did get a pop, although I wasn't expecting what happened to have happened. But the coffin match for the TNT title, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. 10 minutes 40. Now, I know I missed Darby Allin's entrance because I went to the toilet at this point because you weren't getting him through the other match. But for this one, it was kind of weird because Jack Perry won very easily in this match. And during the match, he brought out some glass from underneath the ring, which was a nod back to the CM Punk thing where he said it's real glass and stuff.
Yeah, it's real glass.
Yeah, there's a few throwbacks to last year's with this match, but Jack Perry won very convincingly, easily. But I think it was all to build up for what happened after, where the Young Bucks came out to drench the coffin.
I know you kind of speed through this as much as possible because I know you got to go to bed. I know you got working. I know you're trying to speed through this as much as possible. I want to at least get in because that's what people come to listen for. They come to listen to me.
Really?
Yeah. It's a coffin match, and obviously Darby Allin's never lost a coffin match. And there were some entertaining spots throughout, and obviously you did mention about the glass. It's a callback and wink, wink, nudge, nudge to last year with Hook
It
and
was,
the incident.
yeah, Hook and Jack Perry, which did start off a CM Punk chant.
Yes, it did, and then it escalated into a fuck CM Punk chant after that. So I don't know how that sort of turned about, but it did. But it was okay. There were some decent spots in the match, and obviously, as you said, yes, Jack Perry did win, and then he went for the gas can. He was trying to set
Well, it
Darby up.
wasn't him, was it? It was the Young Bucks.
Oh, it was for that. Oh, so yes, the Young Bucks came down with the can, and he had the light going to set
He
him
had
up.
the lighter, and then as he lit the lighter, the lights went out, and then Sting returned, which got a massive pop again. And then he basically beat up the Young Bucks again.
Yeah,
And Jack Perry ran away.
Yeah,
Again, I think this is leading somewhere else, but I don't think it's anything to do with Darby Allin and Jack Perry. I think this was just like a match that they put together to, bring Sting back for one, at the main event, because he has been backstage at some Dynamites and stuff. And it was nice to see him, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see Sting at any time. But yeah, I don't know where this is leading, but again, it was better. It was a lot better than the match before. It got the crowd chanting again, at least.
It got people excited because a match that was everywhere. It was so chaotic. It was up the ramp. It was down the ramp. It was in the ring. It was out the ring. It was all in. It was at one point you seen Darby Allin, trying to get the coffin and trying to attack Jack Perry with the fucking coffin.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, and the pacing was sort of everywhere. It was not a linear flow. Like you normally watch a normal casket match, say with Undertaker, for example.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be a flow building up to that crescendo moment when you knew someone was going to go in the casket, and most of the time it was Undertaker's opponent, but you knew. Whereas this, it would start out hot, it would go warm, and then back to hot and then cold.
I think they kept it hot, not full pace as they started, but it kept it going. And I think they would try again, like as they with Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, it was dead. This got a few chants going, and I think it got the crowd going again, ready for the last match.
When Sting came out,
when Sting came out, that was just an extra pop.
Yeah, it's just everyone just lost their mind for when Sting came up. Because it is nice to see Sting.
Yeah.
Because obviously now we don't get to see him anymore. Obviously, let's go back.
I think he's going to make sporadic appearances at maybe some pay-per-views, but he's retired from wrestling now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's retired, so it's nice that he will make the odd occasion, but like I said, unless you go back on the Peacock or WWE Network and go back and watch matches, you ain't doing much more now. But yes, so from that lovely sort of mess that they called a match,
we went into a title versus career match.
We rolled into the main event.
26 minutes for this one, and I lost my shit basically when Bryan Danielson came out to the final countdown. The arena erupted again.
See, English fans, we will chant and sing to anything. Am I not wrong?
No, you're right. We do, and like I said, I think having football as we created football as in what Americans call soccer and stuff, but we created that, and football fans chant lots of things. Yeah. Sometimes horrible things, sometimes nice things. And I think being at a wrestling show, there's probably half of the people at Wembley is football fans easily. So we just carry on with the chants. I mean, Bryan comes out to the final count. Bryan Danielson, comes out to the final countdown. everybody's going to sing that song because everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, but it amazes me, not only the fact. Obviously, we had people singing along to when Sting came out, which came out to Seek and Destroy, and we also had people singing to Osprey and shouting Osprey for his theme music. When we had Bryan Danielson come out, and he came out to obviously the final countdown, not only did you have people singing along with the song, because most people will know the lyrics of the song. If you don't, then you need to do. But you had people doing the do sort of that as well.
They were actually doing the music, not just singing the words. Yeah,
singing. But again, that moment, gets you hyped up for it. And the match itself was actually pretty good. I can't fault it that much.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Bryan Danielson's entrance was epic, but Swerve Strickland's entrance was also good. I mean, even though people, you can tell they wanted Bryan Danielson to win, but we all shouting along with Prince Nana when he's like, "Whose house?" and we all shouted Swerve's house. Again, very good entrance for them. The match was, again, like I said, top 3 easily. For chanting, singing, and cheering, this was the best.
It was. There was a lot. People really invested into it, and I just want to make an admission. The Death Valley driver spot wasn't in the MJF, and
no, this one wasn't it because Prince Nana put the bell there.
Put the belt there, and obviously cut Danielson open.
Yeah,
massive cut. It wasn't like he was Ric Flair and all over the place. As we know, Ric Flair can get juice, and once he gets off, it was just a little bit of colour, but it added to the match. It added to the complexity of it. That Strickland is going to be taking any chance he can get to win the match. He's going to do whatever it takes, whether that be using the belt, cheating.
I mean, because at one point I thought Swerve Strickland, he was hitting all the big moves. So I thought he's going to do this. He's going to be the one. But yeah, like when we chanted yes along with Daniel Bryan, when he was doing his kicks and stuff, and then when Swerve Strickland did it, we was chanting no.
Yeah, he was doing the kicks. He was using big moves. Like I said, he hit the Death Drive on the outside, targeting Danielson's neck and head, which is a smart tactic if you're a wrestler. If you know someone's got an injury, you generally target that area.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a work, but you work that into, and that's what made this match good, was that Strickland was working that area, and it put more of an emphasis on the match because you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, Danielson is going to lose this. We're going to fire at this event."
Well, even partway through the match, they had to make it, as real as they could. They brought some paramedics into the ring to make sure Daniel was okay.
And then you had the shots going back and forth between him, and then you seen, is it Brie? Yeah, Brie on the outside with the kids, and you sort of see the emotion on their face of, he's injured, he's not going to come back from this. It got people invested, and everyone at points were cheering. Then it was quiet, not quiet in terms of the match was a dud. It's just that it was holding focus so much that everyone was just waiting to see what was going to happen, what was the next big move, what was the next spot.
Well, I mean, we got, obviously, at the end, we know, because obviously the knee, he never hit the knee. Well, he did, but it didn't get the free count. But he did was it the Rebel Lock?
Yes.
But he pulled the arm back this time.
I think it was the hand, like the fingers, and then he got the arm.
Yeah, and then Swerve had nowhere to go.
and tapped. And as soon as he tapped out, that place fucking lost its shit.
Yes, it did.
Lost it.
It lost. Everybody screamed and shouted. Everybody chanted yes. Everybody sang along to the final countdown again.
Yeah, it was a very emotional ride in terms of a match. The build up, the match itself, the ending. It was nice to see Danielson actually win. But as I
Yeah.
was saying to you before the match started, and we were sitting there, that Danielson has attempted to go for the title before on numerous occasions and always fell short of the mark. And
You also
then,
said as well to me that if Jack Perry won the match before, Daniel was winning the title.
yeah, and I was right on that count. So it was nice to see him win this one, but at the same time, as much as it was a feel-good moment, for me, it goes back to you've had multiple attempts at this championship you've lost. I think he went up against Hangman Page, he lost.
Yeah, but you've got to think, like in the Britt Baker match, he won the Owen Hart Classic, same as Bryan Danielson won the Owen Hart Classic. That's why they got these title shots.
Yeah, this is how they got the title shots, obviously now. But for that period of time, when Danielson came over from WWE, he sort of started off strong and then got lost in the shuffle a little bit, and then obviously the combat club came around.
To be
But it
fair,
is nice.
though, it's
Yeah,
nice that he didn't just come in and win like Jon Moxley did or like Chris Jericho did. They come in and they basically took the titles. Not took them, but they became champions, where Bryan's had his chances and lost and did other things, and now at this point in his career finally won it.
it is nice. Like I said, it goes back to that feel-good moment, which is if he's a wrestler that you enjoy watching or he's your favourite wrestler,
You want to do it.
you're seeing his hardships throughout the time he's been in AEW. Like I've said, he's come in, he's challenged for the belt, he's lost on quite a few occasions. He's then joined the forces with Castagnoli and Moxley and formed the Blackpool Combat Club.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen him go through so many triumphant matches and obviously those. And obviously coming to this now to his fruition that he's actually won the AEW World Championship. Yes, it is a feel-good moment. But then at the same time, for me, I feel like it's a little bit too late.
Well, it was announced on Dynamite, I do believe, that, and this was Bryan Danielson, he said when he loses this title, that's his wrestling career done. So every match now that he fights is basically a retirement match. Because as soon as he loses the title, he's going to stop wrestling.
Which, it's an angle that works because we've seen that with Ric Flair. When Ric Flair was on his sort of making return, and he had to win all his matches. Eventually, it led to a match between him and Heartbreak Kid at WrestleMania. But he was whatever he could do to win because obviously he wanted to keep on wrestling. So
yeah, definitely.
Now with Danielson, and hopefully we will see him pulling out a lot more things and taking more of a risk to win. And obviously, when he eventually, because it will happen inevitably, but he will lose. It'll either be to someone like Jack Perry or Darby Allin, the next generation that are coming up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's MJF, and it's not going to be Swerve. Swerve at this point now. Yes, he has.
It could be Jack Perry. It could be Darby Allin. And the other pillar was Sammy Guevara, but I don't think it's going to be Guevara.
No, it's not going to be Guevara. And like I said, it's not going to be Strickland. When Strickland won the belt from Samoa Joe, yes, it was a big thing. And everyone was on that Strickland train. They were really happy that he won. But his reign, it's not been booked very well. He hasn't been booked as a strong champion. He was meant to be the babyface, but then he would start doing.
They pushed him as the heel because everyone was cheering Danielson.
Yeah, but it's just a way they could have done a good face versus face match, and then
Well, they could have.
in the match, because
Turning heel.
obviously Swerve is trying to do whatever he can to, one, keep the belt, and two, retire Danielson. That's when you've done the turn. But doing fucking promos about, someone's kids and stuff like that, we've seen that. He'd done that with Hangman Page.
Mm. Well, obviously that was the end of the night, obviously, when we all went home. But also something else that I found out while I was watching YouTube. So the two girls that were doing the vlog, they went to this party, and Swerve Strickland, Prince Nana, and Mercedes Moné were all there dancing. I mean, she's got a video with Swerve Strickland being, body, when you the crowd surf.
Oh,
When you're on the crowd and everyone's moving you along.
Yeah.
Swerve Strickland was doing that.
Okay.
So obviously they turned up to a party. Swerve Strickland, Prince Nana, and Mercedes Moné all turned up at this party that people were at and started drinking and dancing with everybody else.
Was it on YouTube that you've seen that vlog?
Yeah.
It's not the Too Sweet podcast, is it?
No. Not that I remember, anyway.
I was about to say, because I was watching a vlog earlier of, again, two ladies going to AEW. So I was thinking it might have been that one that I might have possibly watched. Anyway, regardless.
It might have been. I'll have to have a look at what I'm thinking. I'll let you know. But yeah, obviously all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed AEW. I think it was better than last year's.
Yeah. The match quality, the matches this year was a lot better than last year's. The match quality, without again looking at 2023's, because there were some good things from 2023 when you think about it, like Soraya winning the belt, the MJF and Adam Cole match,
where they faced off against each other. That was good.
That was a good match. Who else did we have?
Didn't we have Sting and Darby Allin in the coffin match against Swerve Strickland and Christian?
Oh yes, we did. That was a good match.
Yeah, it was. Right. Jack Perry and Hook was at the start, and we had CM Punk versus Samoa Joe.
Oh, that was a good match.
Yeah, then on the pre-show you had Aussie Open, I think they're called, versus MJF and Adam Cole as well.
The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, yeah. That's right. We also had the 6-man tag match with the House of Black versus...
Didn't we have... We also had what was like a Falls Count Anywhere, and it was the Blackpool Combat Club, minus Danielson, taking on Eddie Kingston, and I'm sure it was Santana and Ortiz as well. There was more people in it, but there was like a brawl or Falls Count Anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure the House of Black one was against the Acclaimed.
No, there was a trios match.
Oh, was it against the Bullet Club Gold?
Yes. No, the Bullet Club Gold, or Bullet Club at the time, took on the Elite.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Because everyone wanted the Elite to win, but you wanted Bullet Club to win, and they won.
That might be right.
Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns versus, was it the Young Bucks, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega?
I think so. I'm just having a look at the match now. Results. There we go. So Better Than You, Baby. So Adam Cole and MJF defeated Aussie Open, which was Carl Fletcher. This we had Hook versus Jack Perry. That was on the 0 hour. Same with the Better Than You, Baby. CM defeated Samoa Joe by pinfall. Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takahashi. So Austin Gunn and Colt Gunn. And Don Callis, I forgot Don Callis was for them as well. Defeat the Golden Elite, so yeah, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi by pinfall. FTR defeated the Young Bucks.
Yep.
So that's for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So we had also Eddie Kingston, Penta El Zero, and Miedo, sorry, or Pentagon fucking Jr. There we go. We said Pentagon Jr. With best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy defeated Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Willie Utah, Mike Santana, and Ortiz by pinfall. I remember that because Sue turned up, didn't she, in the band. That's when they all came out. Yeah, I remember that now. Saraya defeated Ricardo Shida, Dr. Britt Baker, and Tony Storm. So that was my favourite boy. That's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Darby Allin and Sting defeated Christian Cage and Spurs Fiddler with Prince Nana. Will Ospreay with Don Callis defeated Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara by pinfall. That was pretty good. Clay Caster and Billy Gunn defeated the House of Black.
Well, there you go.
Right, so yeah, I was right for the Trios Championship.
Yeah, because it was Billy Gunn then. That's why.
Yeah, and MJF defeated Adam Cole by pinfall. So again, that was not bad. I couldn't. Unless going back and watching it, you're trying to figure out what would have been the piss break match in there. I would probably.
Well, from where we were sitting this time, we saw a lot of people go. Last year, I don't remember a lot of people going through any match. I think people were going just when they really needed it and trying to hold it in to watch the match.
Maybe the stadiums, either the Stadium Stampede match, or it would have been the Trios match with Bullet Club Gold. Would have been the one that would have been a piss break for people.
I don't think it would have been the Bullet Club Gold. It was quite early in the match, in the night.
So it might be the Stadium Stampede match then. But yeah, obviously, looking for people getting up and going for a whiz last year, where I constantly walking past me every time.
Yep. Right, I think that wraps up our review, I would say, of AEW All In.
Yeah, it's gone a little bit longer than what we expected, but overall, yes, there was not many people here for this one this year compared to last year.
Wasn't as much in terms of fans, but I personally think we all said it after on our way home that this All In was better than the last.
It was better than the last, apart from like the one or two piss break matches. Everything else was good. I couldn't really fault it. Again, looking at 2023, there were some good matches on that card as well. But I think it was for this year. You know, you had the storyline between MJF and Will Ospreay. You had Strickland going up against Danielson. You also had the Darby Allin and Jack Perry feud.
You knew we were going to get a lot of surprises in the gauntlet match.
Yeah, so there was a lot of feuds that have been building up, and that ended at All In 2024. Whereas 2023, it was more of matches sort of like hastily put together. There were some storylines, but nothing that really grasping people. You know, you look at the CM Punk and the Samoa Joe match. That only came about because obviously they both wrestled each other before in Ring of Honor. And obviously you had CM Punk saying he was the real World Heavyweight Champion. But apart from that, there was no other real build into that match. The Cole and MJF match
Adam Cole and MJF had a build.
Yeah, that had a build.
But really and truthfully, nothing else. I think it was throw a load of matches together, make some people win, give them let them cheer. Where this year there was a bit more story based, and I like I said, I think this one was better. Not to say the last one was bad, but
well.
both events that we've had, I think they've been they've been good apart from a few matches, but overall, I came away very happy, thoroughly enjoyed the time there. And if anyone ever wants to go and see a wrestling show, if they're going to do Wembley for all Forbidden Door, I would say to go. Maybe just eat before you go.
Yeah, definitely eat before you go. I am going to be looking forward to see what Forbidden Door brings next year. But as you were just saying, if you want to go and see a wrestling show, and like I just jokingly quipped about going to see WWE, that is something that I will go and see at some point when they're over here. I will go and see WWE. Hopefully TNA over.
I've seen. I've been to the 2 All In events for AEW. I've done a TNA event, and I've done WWE when they come over and do Raw and SmackDown. I've been to Raw, so I've done a WWE show, I've done a TNA show, and I've done 2 AEW pay-per-views.
But see, you've done a WWE show when it was the McMahon era. We're now not in the McMahon era anymore.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. I've been to the show. Now we're in the Levesque era. I would love to go. I know there is talks of Wembley holding WrestleMania, but
yes,
it's not this year. So we'll just wait until they announce it when they do.
If WWE come over for a UK tour, then hopefully we'll try and go to that. And the same goes for TNA. Even New Japan.
I think the only New Japan that we're going to get is Forbidden Door.
Yeah. I would possibly say NWA.
Like I said, we'll just have to keep an eye out, see what's coming up, see what's going on, and just try to go to as many as possible.
Yeah, because otherwise, if we keep going to AEW, eventually people are just going to label us as fucking AEW fucking diehards. And the thing is, much as I like all wrestling companies in general, the thing is, I know people moan about, oh, well, I'm a WWE guy, or I'm a TNA guy, or WCW, ECW, AEW, New Japan. The thing is, yes, you all show some more favoritism.
Mm-hmm.
Then the thing is, we live in a period now where we have good choice for wrestling. It's not like it used to be where you just had WWE and WCW and ECW, and then eventually those two went by the wayside. There's a lot more options in terms of wrestling now, and we have a lot more platforms that we can access more wrestling, whether that be big name companies, independent companies, whether that be I was going to say CZW, but that CZW is not around anymore, I don't think. But you've got Major League Wrestling, you've got Game Changer Wrestling, you've got NWA, you've got TNA, AEW, WWE. Again, the list goes on. You can watch Mexican wrestling, AAA, CMLL. There's so much you can watch now compared to back in the day. Unless you knew someone who had tapes and that could trade with you, you're pretty much shit out of luck. So as much as people moan, I'm this guy, I'm this sort of guy, I prefer this company, just be grateful for the amount of wrestling that you have accessible to you at the minute.
Well, like you said, with the amount of wrestling shows, there's something for everyone. You don't have to be. You don't have to like WWE or AEW. You might just like the independents, where Matt Cardona for a while was running the scenes everywhere. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
there's been times in the past where it's not been good. And when you've only got the one company, it gets stale very quickly. And you had some idiot running the show that just basically rebooked the same matches every week, and then you got to a pay-per-view and you still had the same match. So yeah, it's a lot better now. There's a lot more choice.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It is a lot more better. And the thing is, like I said, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a fan of all wrestling. I might not always like some things, but again, like anyone else, you've got choice. If you don't like it, change the fucking channel, change it to something else. I enjoy.
Right. And on that note, I think we should end. Yes,
so I'm going to let you go, and hopefully we will pick up with the Great American 89 this week.
We will.
Hopefully try and get that one out. Again, this has gone on a lot longer than what I expected. This was just going to be a short episode, but as always, and I didn't get to talk as much because someone was trying to run through this as fast as fucking possible. So I'm sorry for all the listeners out there that, come to listen to me and didn't hear me that much. I will make up for it on the Great American Bash 89, because I'm sure I'll be talking a lot of shit while you'll just be sitting there listening and agreeing with me.
I don't think I'll be agreeing, but I'm sure you'll be talking more.
Yes, I'll be talking a lot more. So anyway, on that note, thank you very much for listening. Again, if you've got any questions, any queries, and you can now get in contact with us at podcast 3countwrestling@gmail.com, and that's 3 as in the number 3, not spelled 3, just in case anyone is wondering. So yeah, if you've got any submissions, please send this to us, and hopefully we will read them out, and if we can do something in the future, we will let you know. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye to all the listeners that will eventually listen to this, and on that note, hit my fucking music, and I'll speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.